This is the BBC Home Service. We're interrupting programs to make the following announcement. It is understood that in accordance with arrangements between the three great powers, an official announcement will be broadcast by the Prime Minister at 3 o'clock tomorrow, Tuesday afternoon, the 8th of May. In view of this fact, tomorrow, Tuesday, will be treated as Victory in Europe Day.
Well, Gene, I first started doing reenactment back in 1995 for the 50th anniversary of VE Day, and I really enjoyed it. I've been a collector for years, and my dad was a veteran with the Royal Air Force and the 2nd Battalion High Light Infantry from Glasgow, Scotland. So today I'm honoring him. He's now passed on. Many of my family were military, and of course we're honoring the Canadian veterans today also, who fought in Northwest Europe and liberated Holland.
It's great to be at such an occasion with so many historical vehicles, with like-minded personalities for the reenacting, and being in the capital, Ottawa itself. It should be a very good day, a very good occasion, and really looking forward to this. I find that this is extremely important to keep the memory of this alive, because even reenactors, we still cannot grasp the magnitude of the Second World War, the hardships that people went through. We can understand to a certain degree because we study the history, we talk to the veterans a lot. But to keep this memory alive, to show the appreciation to the greatest generation, so to speak, it's something that we should definitely keep doing, and we should keep this going for years and years and years and years to come. Never forget, never.
I think it's an outstanding ceremony, an outstanding celebration. I'm a serving Army National Guard officer. I'm a major with the Pennsylvania Army National Guard. I work primarily in logistics, but I've had experience with the combat arms, infantry and armored cavalry. To be able to look across the spectrum, to see people's service in various capacities, the honor, it's been just wonderful. And this has been a great opportunity to come up here and see some folks that I don't get to see very often, and to meet the veterans up here and to work with them and to thank them for their service. But I think there's an important difference in that the Canadian perspective is sometimes lost in the greater part of history. The American history is very big and popular down in the States. You see the perspective of the British, but you don't always hear about the perspective of the Canadians, and that's a huge contribution that they made to the war, and it really needs to be properly recognized.
From the generation of over 1 million people who served in a country of just 11 million, now we only have approximately 100,000 veterans remaining in a country that numbers more than 35 million people. The country we enjoy today, with our freedoms and immense prosperity, we owe to these veterans.
It's really important. For the fact is, for a number of reasons. One is for the sake of our veterans are still alive today. So that's for their sake, and to tell their story, the best way we can do it is through giving simulation actions of things that might have happened to them back 70 years ago. Through the uniforms, through the weaponry, through the tactics, and just through the interaction with people, and actually talking with the veterans also, because they tell you so much what happened to them just for the fact that you are dressed the way they were when they were young, vibrant men.
Originally for me it was just a love of history, and then once starting to learn more about the veterans themselves and getting to meet the veterans, it came to actually portraying them more than and honoring their memory than it was for just my love of history.
For me, I've heard about it or saw reenactments as a kid, and then when I turned 14 or 15, I started looking into reenacting. Short version for me is that it's because history books weren't cutting it anymore. So I mean, this is the closest you can get to actually being there, and that's why I love it so much, because it's like going back in time and seeing how they actually lived.
For me, it was more that I really needed an outlet for my love of history, but I didn't really know which way to go. So when I found reenacting, it came pretty naturally. And for me, it's just mostly about keeping history alive, especially as the new generation coming in. It's something that we need to keep pushing so that we educate people so they never forget.
So much like everybody else, it was a passion for history, especially the Second World War, that got me into doing World War II reenacting. And I find now as mature and progress in the hobby, it's what I find important about it, and what keeps me in the hobby is honoring the memory of the veterans and their sacrifices and service to this country.
It's to pass on what's been passed on to us by the veterans themselves. Tell their story, their experiences, to bring that to the forefront to the youth of today. They're dying away, and we're becoming their voice for the education of the future.
When people are looking at us, they're literally staring history in the face.
It's probably the most important aspect of the hobby. We can't take any of this with us, so educating the next generation and hoping that some become enthusiasts like us and pass the stories on, pass the traditions and the information and the history. You'd be amazed, what the kids will do today is they'll ask you questions about this, they'll listen to you talk, and then they'll walk away Googling it, looking for more info. So they're blending their technology and their way of doing things, their view of the world, with ours.
Well, I was a soldier for 12 years, and I've been now an educator for close to 30 years after that, so a lot of service. This young gentleman here, I've met him a number of years ago, and he's a passionate young man, and it turns out he's a teacher now, and he's also a history teacher like myself, so it's important for teachers to talk to the kids, make them aware of past events, because by being aware of past events, maybe the same mistakes won't be made in future events, but they got to know what was going on.
Yeah, reenactment definitely brings the history out of the textbooks, and I think it's one of the best ways when the students can handle the weapons or the kit and the helmets. It's the best way to learn. There's only so much you can learn from a textbook. So definitely been a big motivator for reenactment, for sure.
Hi, I'm Mike Calnan, and I'm the president of the Swords and Plowshares Museum, and we are here as part of the 70th anniversary of the Liberation of Holland displays. We're doing a battle reenactment of the liberation of the town of Virden in Holland, and so the Canadian troops will be attacking and capturing a German bunker with lots of noise and flash and smoke.
This is the BBC Home Service. We're interrupting programs to make the following announcement. It is understood that in accordance with arrangements between the three great powers, an official announcement will be broadcast by the Prime Minister at 3 o'clock tomorrow, Tuesday afternoon, the 8th of May. In view of this fact, tomorrow, Tuesday, will be treated as Victory in Europe Day.